All right, everybody. Welcome to the Unknown Entities podcast. I'm Jared.
I'm Kiara.
I'm Imani.
And I'm Kalia.
How everybody feeling today? What's going on?
Good.
How you feeling?
I'm good.
I'm good. So first podcast, part 2, I guess. Who wants to introduce the topic today?
So our first topic today is cancel culture. How y'all feel about them?
First thoughts. I think cancel culture can be both a good and bad thing. I feel like a lot of people get canceled for very small things, but at the same time, it can be very important for certain celebrities who take advantage of their stardom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do y'all think it should be like a statute of limitations? Like if a celebrity did something before they were famous, do you think they still should get canceled for that?
I feel like it depends on how they handle the situation, or like how they talk to their audience about what they've done in their past, and if they take fault for what they did.
I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, well, they could have changed. They could have grown. And be like, no, he or she said that when they're like 25.
Right.
And even if it has been 5 years, like you nor I will ever know if they actually changed.
Exactly. And you knew that wasn't right to say.
Right. But what we can do is hold them accountable
Exactly.
for saying that. So it's like.
But the thing is, I feel like when they do cancel culture, it's easy for them to like give back to the homeless, and then they're like, oh, they're a good person again. They just forgot about everything that they've done in the past.
It doesn't help the way people idolize certain influencers and celebrities. Because
Right.
they'll be like, oh, he'll never do that, or she'll never do that. But it's like, you don't know them. You just watch their videos.
Exactly. That's true.
I feel like cancel culture doesn't exist to an extent because you can try, like with R. Kelly, you can try so hard to cancel him for like the entire Aaliyah thing, the P thing, all of that. People are still going to separate the artist from their actions. Like there's still people out there. I've been fall victim to that. But like, I'm very aware of what R. Kelly did, but it's like you can catch me sometimes listening to like Same Girls.
No, but
Right.
can we
So-
talk about how R.
Definitely
Kelly
never love.
was during that interview? Like,
I did not
Which
do
one are we
this,
talking
man.
about?
I'm not here
one
fighting for my life. Is this camera on?
oh my God, that was hilarious. I'm so sorry, but he just told on himself. Like the whole interview was like, "Come on now,
Right.
we know what you did."
The evidence against him is so incriminating, and the fact that he continues to deny it, I'm just
I
like,
know, and
come
then
on,
he had
man.
like a separate tantrum.
Just
like I thought we
plead.
say that for our little brothers. What are you
right.
doing?
Just plead at this point.
And
Take a deal.
And the thing is, he's been telling y'all this for years
He has
through
an
his
entire
music.
song.
Right.
My
Like,
mind is telling
Tell
me
me no,
no.
but my body is telling me yes.
That's disgusting. Oh, that's so bad.
But I feel like in those situations, we should be able to still like listen to music, like separate the artist from their art. Do y'all think we
Yeah.
can still do that?
I feel like with certain songs you can, like with I can't remember the name of the song, where when the song he's like, my mind is telling me no, my
Bump and
body's
grind.
like, yeah, thank you. I was like, you're not gonna listen to that song.
Right.
His music is good. Y'all can listen to a couple songs, but not that song, because he's literally telling on himself.
I don't know. I feel kind of bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know what you did.
Right.
I know why you
It's
singing
like
that.
listening to your
That
voice.
song's
It's like,
still hot.
ugh.
Right.
But the songs are still good, and it's hard to do that because it's hard to do that with icons like that, like with the whole Michael Jackson thing. Like
Right.
he's an international, global pop star,
Right.
and now we find out this man been touching little kids, and it's like,
Exactly.
God dang, everybody knows your songs. What are we supposed
And
to
then
do?
it's the
Not
fact
play Thriller?
that all the celebrities still worship him as
Yeah.
if he did nothing, and it's like, what were y'all doing? Was he helping y'all get
A
away
lot
with
of
stuff? Or-
celebrities will turn a blind eye, and it's
That's
so
true.
disgusting.
That's true.
It's either to get themselves ahead or to keep their friendship with that certain person. I'm like, what's the
Right,
point
so
of keeping
that
the
they have
friendship if
that
this dude is gonna be in jail?
But I feel like sometimes it's because they know that they've done something wrong. So like, if they confront it now, it's like, why are you confronting it now? You did the same thing as me. So you know, they don't want to do anything that could get them thrown under the bus.
And a lot of people, which I feel like your silence is just as incriminating as
Right.
doing the action. Sometimes it's like you sat there and let that child, or you let that person or woman or man or whatever get hurt, and you didn't say anything. So you are
Right.
just as guilty as that man is.
Exactly.
Y'all want to talk about the Sha'Carri Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's dip into that real quick.
First thoughts?
Weed is weed.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out there.
I feel, doesn't it wear off within it wears off within a few hours?
Yeah.
few
effect,
hours.
but the
effects.
drugs stay in your system for I
Like
think
Right.
8 days.
Exactly. I think it stays in your system. I think that's the
For like a
longest
week.
drug that stays in your system. That's the drug that
Yeah,
stays in
but
your
still,
system the
it
longest.
doesn't like have that effect on you like cocaine. Like
Right.
it doesn't really mess with your mental for
Exactly.
real.
Unless
It's
it's
not
laced.
It's but we'll never know. I was gonna say sure hers wasn't, but we don't know.
Right.
Either way, like it's the drug tests they have a purpose, right? It's supposed to
Right.
test you for performance enhancing drugs to make sure you are not getting ahead and trying to take the advantage over your competitors.
Right.
Weed is not a performance enhancer.
Exactly.
So
if anything, it would make her more lousy. or-
right. I'm not saying her as an
Relax.
athlete
Make her
should
more
smoke,
chill.
but like
Right.
I'm not saying you as an athlete should smoke, but I'm just like it does nothing but disadvantage her herself.
It's not like
Mhm.
steroid.
right.
Exactly.
It doesn't enhance her performance.
She's
within
not
the
doing
store.
crack. She's not pumping herself with heroin. So it's
Right.
like
I don't know. I feel like they just try to find an excuse because they know predominantly black people use weed.
yeah.
And so they know that, oh, yeah, we don't want her to run. Black girl, long hair, weave, long nails.
It's like the same
Get her
thing
out.
with FloJo.
Exactly.
She wore acrylic nails. She was always wearing makeup. She wanted to look pretty when she won, and she was the fastest woman in the world. And they tried to
Right.
take her down all the time.
Exactly. And that is so messed up. It's like the black community can't really have anything because they always are cheating or they're stealing or they're lying or
Did y'all hear about the swimmers cap thing at the Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was that's
Natural
absolutely
hair.
I didn't
bogus.
hear about that.
No, you can go ahead.
So basically, say for example, a black woman that has a large afro,
Mhm.
they can't use swimming caps for quote unquote natural hair. So they're not allowed. They just have to swim because
It was somebody was trying to get a special cap for black women or people with curly hair approved, and they was like, no, only the elite. They're like the most elite swimmers use the standard caps, so no, this will not get approved.
Wow.
And like, do you know what happened to people? Do you know what happens when people with curly hair go underwater?
I
Their hair gets a lot
know.
more frizzier and it gets harder to swim.
Exactly.
So
And then it's like all in your face.
Right. and normal swim caps won't cover that. You'd have to
Right.
perm your hair, braid it down, and it's like, why do I have to do that when this woman created a set of caps designed for my type of hair?
Exactly.
So you're just trying to disadvantage black women and people with curly hair at this point.
I feel like that's so stupid because they don't have anything to even back up why they feel specific
Right.
things like that
Right.
should even be a rule. I remember when I was little and my mom, she used to have to put like 2 swim caps on me.
Yes.
For me to go swimming
Yes.
because my hair.
Yeah. I didn't really use swim caps, but if I did, I'd have to like pull it on tight.
I know, and it
Because
hurts.
my hair,
You're like,
yes, it's like cutting off circulation. My bad.
yeah, I hated that. But perks of being black, I guess. What else?
Oh, back to cancel culture. Y'all got any like examples y'all want to use for that?
I got a couple. So, Tyler the Creator. If you all
He was pretty daring back in his early career, though.
What happened? I didn't
Okay,
hear.
so-
I
He's
don't
just
know,
very
but
he
was
was
he was
very
very
he was very
bumped.
his music got banned in a couple countries,
He
didn't
got
it?
banned in
Really?
New Zealand, the
Yeah.
UK, Australia.
God dang.
A lot of the things he says, well, he said, I should say, back in like let's say like 2008 to like
Yeah.
2010, it was really graphic and like sort of like you wouldn't think to say that. Like everybody was like sort of shocked by it, but that was just him expressing what was going on in his head, and he was sort of being canceled before cancel culture was sort of a thing. Now people are bringing up, should he be canceled because of these past comments? And I don't know if y'all seen it recently or not, but he made some comments about Selena Gomez and he addressed them.
What did he say about Selena Gomez?
This was back in like 2010 or so, and he was talking about doing sexual things with her.
Oh my
This-
gosh. Why is he
Yeah,
like
when
that?
are people gonna learn that a digital footprint is a very real thing?
Exactly.
But he addressed them on his newest album, basically apologizing for all of that because he was like, that was out of pocket for me to say. And the timing of it all, because if I'm not mistaken, she had just become legal at that time.
How old was he?
He was like, just like 2009, 2010,
So
like
he was
18,
probably
19,
a teenager.
18, 19.
That's still weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate when people will make these excuses like, "Oh, I can't wait till he or she gets legal so I can talk." I'm just like, stop being a weirdo. Get off your No, but y'all, I feel like a lot of people like the first example that comes to my mind. Like, y'all know the song "Pumped Up Kicks."
Oh,
that song is about school shootings,
exactly.
and they played that on the radio all the time.
Really?
So it's like a lot of y'all will get on other people for making weird music and with weird messages, but this entire song was about shooting up a school. So and y'all played that on the radio. So what are we really doing here?
Wow, I never knew that. That's
Yeah, better run.
Oh.
That's teasing my bullet.
They used to like on like not like the mainstream like Atlanta radios, but like the
pop stations.
like
Yeah.
the pop station they played
Well, I
that
used to little
non-stop.
kids. all the
little
time.
kids
Like,
would listen.
Now
Going
imagine
the
my
full
surprise when
song.
I learned on TikTok that song was about school shootings.
Wow. Like,
if you
what's
listen to
going
the
on with
lyrics,
that
it makes
artist?
sense.
Like, is the artist getting mental help?
Right.
No. I watched a video just explaining the entire thing. I think he was trying to send a message with it per se. I don't remember, but
What kind of
there
message
was
is that?
there was some message behind it that was some underlying with all of it. I don't quite remember what he was trying to convey with it, but it's the thing is now with when you're thinking of things like Tyler the Creator, with he back in the day he used a lot of satanic imagery. He didn't use it as like praise the devil, none of that sort of thing, but he just found it interesting and sort of like shocking. It's the shock factor to grab people's attention. I don't know if that's what the guy what was it, Foster the People? I think that's
Yeah, I think that's one.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to use that as his way of grabbing people's attention, because they didn't. The thing is with music, it always will have underlying messages with it. It's like that song "Hey Ya" by Outkast. It's really not a happy song. You listen to it.
Yeah, I heard about it. It's about like I think it's like how all relationships are. I don't remember.
It's like toxic relationships,
yeah.
something like that.
But I only found that out a couple months ago. I was like, dang. I thought we were shaking like a Polaroid picture.
What else? What songs are really dark when you think about it? That song by Paramore, "Ain't It Fun"?
What's Paramore?
What is
What's
that
that song
about?
You know,
about?
"Ain't It Fun"?
No, I know what the song is.
It's like everybody's so. It's like it's so you don't want to grow up so fast, and it's like you don't really know how it's gonna be out here in the
The brain
real
just
world.
don't go crying to your mama.
Exactly. So,
Wow. I wonder, like, what inspires them to sing that when they know that little kids are listening to their music. Like, do you not think
'Cause
that that'll
it's-
inspire them to?
I don't even think it's just little kids. It's a lot of people
It
get
is.
distracted by a happy melody and wanting to pay attention to the lyrics like at all.
Right.
It's kind of like well, this is different because it's in a different language, but how people listen to K-pop and Korean music.
Mhm.
Like they'll sing the songs and then they'll never read the lyrics at all. And because I do that.
Right.
And I'll
That's
be like, oh my
true.
gosh, this song is so happy, and it's about the dangers of makeup and
Right.
beauty standards in society. I'm like, dang. But yeah.
Relaying back to the cancel culture.
Oh.
Now
Keep
with
straying
this
away.
song, with the songs, with the cancel culture, if the person shows like they keep doing the same thing they apologize for, like with YouTubers, like with Charles, what's his name? James Charles, like he keeps putting out apology
gosh.
videos
That's-
after apology videos.
That's a great example of white privilege. Because how is this
Right.
man not in jail?
Right.
He has had multiple instances where he has been texting minors sexually. And I'm just like,
Right. And on Snapchat.
right.
And then the
Because
racial
they delete
slurs.
after
Right.
24 hours.
hours.
And it's like and you never really know who's telling the truth in some of these instances, because I think in the last scandal it was because the teenager lied to him and said he was older than he was. But at the same time, it's like, James, for once in your life, please date someone your own age.
but
You're
my
like
thing is,
25.
like, he knows all these people. Why do you have to go online, find a random person that
Yeah.
Snapchatted you, and decide that that's going to be your new man? Like, why
At this
don't
point,
you-
ask for ID.
Right.
The next time you go on this
something.
shit, like, you need to card every single person that talks to you.
There's also another girl. She's on TikTok. I actually watched a video yesterday. Her name is like Malu.
Yeah.
Some-
She has been
my
racist her entire
gosh.
career, and people
Oh,
keep.
And they
That's
keep-
pretty privileged.
They
That's
keep
pretty
like following her, supporting her. They'll like annoy her for a week, and then after that, it's all good. She'll wear all these different culture appropriation type
Yeah.
stuff, and she still gets the same type of support, so she's never gonna stop.
But what are y'all thoughts on that, like cultural appropriation? What do you deem to be cultural appropriation and what's not? Because I feel like
I feel like, why are you wearing micro braids when it's gonna make your hair fall out? Like, why would you do that to yourself?
I feel like that's a problem too. But it's like I feel like a lot of people have a problem with it because of how those hairstyles are treated. I know these are children, but at the same time, it's like how those hairstyles are treated in professional settings.
Right.
It's like if me as a black person were to go out with, or somebody were to go out with locks or dreads to an interview, they'd be like, oh, that's unprofessional. Let a white person come in with braids or something, and they'd be like, oh, that's such a cute hairstyle, so trendy. Like, it's not a trend that people have been doing it for years and got hate for
Oh,
it.
you started something new.
Like, the way they credit the Kim Kardashian and her family for a lot of black culture, it's just like, y'all used to
Right.
hate on us for that stuff.
Exactly.
So how you just gonna switch around as soon as a person who's not black does it? Like, that's
what
very-
I'm saying. And then they get the big lips. and
Yeah.
then
Oh, the whole
big butts
lip
and
challenge
big
thing.
hips.
Which I'm like,
But then
those
when
look like
girls
botched
have, when the
surgeries.
black girls have it, it's like too much, or it's
They got bullied when
overwhelming
they
or-
were in
right,
elementary, but now it's a
exactly.
whole trend.
or how children or young girls in the black community will have curvier features at a young age because that is just how they grew up,
Yeah.
and then that'll be deemed as being fast.
yeah.
Like, no, her body developed earlier than others. She has no
Exactly.
control over that.
Exactly. I don't know. I hate that. That is so messed
Oh my
up.
bad. Next topic.
Silence.
Men and women in the industry, how they're treated differently, like with the kids. And
Oh yeah.
They need to start, like, someone needs to start. I remember actually about the Nick Cannon thing, how he had like 3 kids in 3 months. And B. Simone, she was on the Wild 'N Out, and she was like, why do y'all still want him?
Yeah.
She was like, I can't believe people still want you. You had 3 kids in the same month or something.
And
like
the fact that he has maternity issues with every single one of these women is just
I
very
know, it's like,
dirty.
how are you letting this
nasty
man in your
man.
face, wrapping his arms around your belly? This is the
Like,
third
he just
one.
did that last week with another
Another
woman.
We have another one on the way.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
no, he had
after
another
that,
set of
I
twins.
think
he had the
doesn't
twins, and then like 2-3 days later, he announced that he was having another child.
Yeah, and I think he had the other one like today.
Oh my
Oh, like
are you
a couple
serious?
days ago.
Yeah, like in the past couple of days or today, because I seen it. I saw it this morning.
Please tell me this
So,
man is getting tested.
I think this is the third
Yeah,
or the
this one.
4th one this month.
That's
That's
But it's
wild.
like, what are you going for? And I remember I saw something on Twitter, and it was saying that it's because of his religion, so he has to reproduce as
What-
much as
What does that have to
religion is he?
do?
What religion is he?
I don't know. I
Isn't
think
he
he's
Islamic?
yeah,
he's
some
Islamic.
type, some.
Something
I
like that.
wouldn't know.
I was like, oh my goodness, why do you need so much kids in a month though? Like, what are-
Right.
and he's not taking care of them. Like, you're not the one waking up every day with 3 babies, feeding
Yeah,
them.
if he, I don't know
Like-
if he's taking care of them or not, so I can't speak on that. But like,
He
if,
probably gives their mom money. Yeah, he
that's
has
not
money.
if
but,
you gonna
like,
have that
that's
many
it.
children, be in their life.
Right?
be
At
in
least
their
get her a
lives.
nanny. Get her some help.
Right.
Like, you just leaving her out.
Do he even still talk to Mariah and her 2
I don't-
children?
I
At
don't
this
think they
point-
still talk.
I'd be
wow.
like,
I think they fell out like again.
Mariah or the kids?
Mariah.
I would
Mariah
be
Do
like,
they? Does he even still see
mm-mm.
it? I don't
I
even
don't
know.
Because the last time I saw them together, it was on an episode of Wild 'N Out, and then
And that was
That was
years,
years ago.
years
I
ago.
remember that clip.
Years ago.
so
If I
I'm
was
trying to think of
Mariah, I
women
would get a
who do that.
restraining order. Like, you cannot drink from the same glass as my child. I
Right.
don't know what
I
you
don't
got.
know where you been. But you know, it's this season. She hasn't been having kids, but like you know how Lori Harvey, she dates a
Yeah.
lot of men in the
Oh my
industry, but
gosh.
she gets called a.
All
Not gonna
these
say it on
here.
here.
slurs,
She gets-
all these
She gets called a
She's
misogynistic
judged. She's
slur.
judged. Yeah.
But then Nick Cannon going around having children and he's just leaving his seed around the world. No, that's
Yeah, that's so funny. Kiki, no.
like y'all was not hating. Y'all was literally praising Future for doing
Right.
what Lori Harvey is doing. But
Right.
as soon as she break his heart, she's
She's dead.
She's for the
She's
streets.
not- Yeah, I don't like that.
that's so
It's
Disgusting.
sad though, but did y'all hear about her mom?
no.
Know what happened?
Oh my
happened?
gosh, how have y'all? Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, so they said that Lori Harvey's mom has been messing with
what Steve do now?
dealers, like since
Dealers?
like dealers, like her whole life until she got up to Steve Harvey. Like she's been, I'm serious.
Like she was the dealer, or she was
No,
just messing
she
with
was
dealers?
messing with it. Like Lori's dad was a dealer. Like,
Oh,
and then
dang.
she messed with 3 until she finally
That's why
met
she took Steve last
Steve.
name.
And when Steve, I think Steve was married and they were together. Oh, let me stop talking about this.
She
shit.
went from
Very
But yeah,
much so
basically
drama.
she worked her way up. She was always in the money, you know, like she
Can't-
always
can't
had
hate the
money,
hustle.
but it was illegal.
Right.
Can't hit
Once-
the hustle.
Can't hate
Yeah,
playing.
once one of
Hit
them
the
went to
game.
jail, she was on the next.
Look,
went
if
from
we
King
gonna
Kiss
if
to
we
But
gonna
she
treat
worked
them
up to
equally,
Steve Harvey.
if we gonna treat men and women equally, can't hate the player, hate the game.
Right.
She did what she had to do.
Right. She living life now.
What's going on? What y'all do now?
Let me move.
um,
I don't know, but I feel like I'm proud of her.
Y'all know, back to cancel culture because we keep getting on topic. But
Oh yeah.
y'all know, I don't really know much about it, but the whole, you know how Trisha Paytas, like how she keeps going back and forth from being a good person in the eyes of the public.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like she's very problematic, but as soon as she's seen as a good guy in a situation, y'all want to switch up on her. Like the whole Gabby Hanna thing, I don't even know what happened, but I know they fell out, and I know Gabby Hanna needs to get off the internet. She needs to go see a therapist.
Jeez.
But
I don't like Gabby Hanna.
But
at
as soon,
all.
but as soon as Trisha Paytas is seen as the one who's getting wronged in the situation, y'all all of a sudden forget everything she did.
Right.
I hate when people do that. Like
Me too.
you can be wrong, but you can also still be in the wrong. You know?
Exactly. I feel like that's really hypocritical of the people, and they're always like that, which is like their manager is like, oh, go do this, and they'll like you. They'll forget about it next week, and we shouldn't be like that. We should actually stand our ground, but I don't know why people act like they're getting paid for supporting people.
Right. But that's just how stands work.
It's always going to be like that.
But I'm moving topics again. Y'all heard about the Nicki video? Is that how you say her name?
No.
No.
Do you know the YouTuber? What's her name? I think it's Nique.
oh, Neek.
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 Thank you. I thought her name was Nicki.
Oh.
Oh, is that the girl that...
Nicki Ken.
Oh,
You know them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
Neek.
them. She's so pretty to me.
What happened?
She
That
made
Smash
a
or Pass
the
video.
Smash or Pass video, and then that one girl kept getting hated on simply because she was dark skinned.
Oh, I saw that.
It was so disgusting,
Here we
and the
go.
fact that
Color is.
none of them stood up for her.
Said
That should be
anything.
here we go about
No, but I
that.
actually saw. I don't know if this is the same one, but Sid was in it, and the guy, he was getting mad, and he was like, "Chill out, chill out." Like, so it looks like they all just sit there, and they got to a point where Sid had to say something, and you know he's not gonna say anything because he wants that money from that video. But for him to have to step in says a lot about what was going on.
I feel like a lot of especially men, because some women are very colorist and y'all just don't want to talk about it, but a lot of men in the entertainment industry, y'all be like, oh, but he's such a nice person, but in real life these people are very colorist.
Right.
And that makes and y'all be like, oh, it's not even a big deal, but no, y'all are ruining these girls' self-image simply because they're darker than y'all.
Right.
It's
Or they're
very-
the same colors, y'all.
Right.
That's horrible.
like,
Because their mom
Chris
be black.
Brown.
Like,
Yes. Chris Brown, y'all would be like, oh my God, he's so fine. I'm like,
I
he would not like
But
you.
he doesn't like.
He would
dark-skinned
not like you.
girls.
How many times has this dude got in trouble for you all know? Like, we all know what he do.
The Rihanna
There's
once,
situation.
no
once
way.
again,
Rihanna,
pretty privileged.
Karrueche.
Exactly.
But
And then she got a the thing I don't like also is kind of the shade room because
The
they
shade
kind
room
of
needs
set
to
her
end.
up
needs to
with
be
that.
shut down. As much as it's a very like
It's
the only reason I
informative,
was
but
the
it's
only
like-
reason I was following it is because I wanted the news, and they are very fast in getting news.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I go in the comments and it's just a bunch of bitter, miserable people
Right.
who are hating on
Exactly.
people for no reason. Like just
I hate that.
It's very
don't get me started on their
toxic.
views on marriage.
It is. It is.
Very interesting.
I remember I had a talk with somebody not too long ago. He was like, "What is your problem with the shade room? They don't spread any sort of positivity, and if they do,
It's very rare.
It's very
Right.
much
It's
so
rare.
Or
all a
it's kind of
setup.
like they're being petty, or like they're trying to point out something because they know people are gonna
Right.
say it, but they're trying to act like they're trying to be nice, but really they know what they're doing. Like they do it sneakily.
and it just really just
Exactly.
comes off as really backhanded and conceited." I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
They be like, "What are y'all thoughts?" When y'all know very well what their thoughts are gonna be.
Exactly.
It's just there to spread drama. It's just entertainment tonight for the millennials. That's
I
all
didn't
it
even
is.
watch Entertainment Tonight. I don't
Trust
watch.
me, it's horrible.
Well, our first time wins once again.
What was it the award shows, like how
Oh, yeah.
we're not
Oh, yeah.
really interested in them anymore.
Let's talk about award shows altogether. I'm gonna get started with the Grammys.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
let's get started with the big one of them all.
The Grammys suck.
No, all big name award shows, the Grammys, the Tonys, the Oscars, they're all very messed up, no matter what you try to defend them with.
Very true. I'm gonna try to speak on two people. In fact, for this situation, I'm gonna speak on Kendrick and Spike Lee because I'm both huge fans of them. So let's
A
talk.
man of taste.
Yes, let's talk on Spike first. Came onto the scene mid '80s or so. Do the Right Thing. Didn't get nominated. Well, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't even get nominated for that, which was an amazing movie. You really need to check it out if you haven't seen it. Malcolm X.
Such a good movie.
Amazing movie.
Such a good movie.
Didn't even get nominated. Did Denzel get an Oscar for that? Or
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Denzel got a couple Oscars, so I don't know.
got
Does
his-
he?
He got Denzel got
Denzel
one
is-
for
Beloved, so he probably got
Yeah.
some type of award.
Yeah.
he got one for Inside Man, which was a Spike
Okay.
movie, but so Hollywood has this perception of black film and just the black arts in general is lesser than, because of course, like with, it's hard to put to words, but I have the thought in my head altogether. Black art isn't perceived as well as, I'm just gonna say it, as white art or
Hollywood.
non-people of color.
In any facet. to be
Exactly.
honest.
Like going to Kendrick, 2013, he dropped Good Kid, Mad City. One of the best albums I've heard of in my life. Macklemore wins.
Macklemore won against Kendrick Lamar?
Who?
Macklemore has a Grammy?
Let's be
No
serious.
offense, but come on now.
Wow.
'Cause let's be serious here.
Now,
And 4 + 4 equals 8. What is this?
Like who still listens to Macklemore? Like let's be serious.
Right.
After that, he had like
He had like
there's only
2 songs.
2 songs that I
Right.
know
He had like
of.
that Can't Hold Us song
That's what I'm
and
thinking
Thrift
of.
Shop.
Thrift Shop,
That was
yeah.
it. And he won Best Rap Album for that entire year. And I was just like,
Come on now.
what's going on? And I'm pretty sure he got screwed again, if I'm not mistaken, for To Pimp a Butterfly, because if I'm not mistaken, Mumford and Sons won. And let's be serious, who is Mumford and Sons?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I
I was
was
about to say. I
thinking
didn't want to be
that.
rude.
Who is that?
Who is that?
So, with like I'm saying, black art isn't perceived as well in the media. Like they get praised. Like, oh my God, this is the best black album I've heard of all time. But when you get to that grand stage, it's not going to be treated the same as white art. Say, you see, like Tarantino. I don't know how many Oscars or Tarantino may or may not have, but he's going to get talked a lot more than Spike Lee does, because Spike Lee got his long overdue Oscar for BlacKkKlansman, which was really well deserved, amazing movie, after at least 30 to 40 years in the industry of going try hard, doing all of what he needed to do, representing us in the best light imaginable. And it just sucks to see so bad, because what we do, we've been the building blocks of this country for so long. Like, we've put America on our backs for a country that doesn't even respect us in itself. And it's just sad to see sometimes that we can't even get recognized for something that we do in that nature. So
That's
And you know what I've noticed in like these Oscar nominations and their wins? White people love black trauma. Like all these
Exactly.
movies, you'll notice they're all period pieces for slavery,
or
or
it's like
it's just very-
stereotypes are always
Yeah.
being played. The drug dealer,
right.
Black
It's
dude.
always the ones where you have to see depictions of black people getting beat down in slavery, or just going through struggles where they don't even have to. Like,
and it's like
very annoying. Like, I saw this. I watch a lot of movie essays, and I watched this one video. It was like going through a trope, and it was like, the mammy trope? Like, black women are
Oh.
always supposed to take care of everyone else. They can't. They're not seen as human, and it can be looked at as a positive thing. But like, they're supposed to be superheroes, but at the same time, it's like, why do you expect black women to always take the brunt of things?
Right.
You know, it's very, very
And I feel like
suspicious.
it's because of how people have pushed that onto them, so they just kind of carry that and don't complain because you
Yeah.
know
They don't get many opportunities.
right. And so it's just like something that you have to deal with, whether you want to deal with it or not, which isn't fair, but it's part of life, I guess.
But I have to say, a lot of black directors, because they want that recognition, they do play into the slave pieces and things like that.
That's
But it's like, I just want to see a movie of black people being happy. Is that too much to ask for?
right.
I want to see us fall in love. I don't want to.
Like, we shouldn't just have to be depicted as, oh, we're gangbangers or drug
Right,
dealers or we're on the
right.
plantation.
I want to see us riding dragons and crap.
Right.
Oh dang, that was a
And-
quick silence.
and that leads into another thing, like the whole, oh, that's black people stuff or that's white people stuff.
Yeah.
And I was watching a Tyler the Creator video one day, and he brought up a really good point. Lots of things in our society are always perceived, oh, white people do that and black people don't do that, because you don't see a lot of it, but we want to change that that notion. So say I wanted to go snowboarding. Have you ever seen a black snowboarder?
No.
No.
Exactly.
If I'm being quite honest, I've never seen a black swimmer at the Olympics before. Simone
Right.
Manuel.
Exactly.
Simone Manuel.
And they say black people can't swim.
Oh, I was just about to say
Well,
that. Yeah.
I kind
I
of
was about to say I
but-
can't.
I can't swim.
Maybe I'm
But
a
some
stereotype.
people
but-
can.
Right. I'm not the only one.
The white people can't swim. But
Or
they
white
don't
people
talk
can't
about
jump.
that.
But that's the thing. That's just with all races. It's not even specifically a black thing. The white
Right.
man can't jump. Pat Connaughton,
I don't know who it is.
he's a basketball player.
Oh,
He
okay.
was in the dunk contest. Dude can jump. He got hops. He can dunk. He can do all of that. And I feel as if we just need to stop putting labels on things of that nature. Just some labels just don't need to exist at all in
Yeah.
itself. Like,
They're not even labels. They're just stereotypes.
Stereotypes,
Very dangerous
labels.
stereotypes.
And because I feel people don't speak up for it, it just sits there and just sits.
And then you just-
no
and you
one
just let it
really
go by.
talks about it,
Yeah.
and they just let it, everyone talk about it. They don't say anything. And when white people talk about it to black people, they don't say anything as well. They kind of just laugh it off. But
Yeah.
really, if you look at it, it's not really that funny.
Are they laughing with you or at you?
Right,
Let's talk about
exactly.
that. I have a question. How do y'all feel about like doxing?
Who?
For like, you know how people dox people on the internet, like they'll release their information.
oh, okay.
Lost.
You say what?
I'm lost.
Oh, doxing is like it goes into cancel culture. Like if somebody says something offensive, you can find out their information and release it on the internet. Like
Oh.
Chloe lives at
Or
513,
like what school
whatever.
they go
Right.
to.
Yeah,
or
whatever. And
email
then they'll
the
be like,
principal.
email the principal or their parents.
I mean, like, I think it's like, I don't know.
I feel like
It's not necessary.
I
feel
feel
like in
like at
some
a certain
instances it
extent
can
it
be.
is.
yeah, but it's
because-
an invasion of privacy.
Exactly.
As
To
far as
some
I know-
extent.
To
as
an
far
ex-
as I know,
yeah.
I've never seen anybody release any. Oh, that's different because you can. Yeah, it's very dangerous.
But at the same time, like, I'm not saying it, but when people
Some
do
people need to be
specific things that are
notified.
Yeah.
too vulgar and they get accepted to this good university, why would you let them get that chance to go
Yeah.
to that school and mess it up for themselves and for other people?
I feel like it's
when they
different if you're
don't
going to
deserve it?
college.
Right.
If you're going to college, I feel like some schools need to be notified. You don't deserve to
Right.
go there. But if you're like in high school, that can be very dangerous because a lot of high schools have zoning structures and things
Right.
like that. So if you go to this high school, you have to live within a certain area, and that can lead to knowing where you live, and that can be very dangerous to you and your
Right.
family. But I also feel like if you email a principal, what's gonna happen? They're gonna
Right.
get suspended or something, which is what they deserve.
But you did something wrong, so
Right.
you just thought you weren't gonna get caught, but you did.
Which is I feel like some people are just so old, right? They're like, and when I say old, I mean our age.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you not realize that this is gonna come back and bite you in the butt? Why would you post? Why would you, as a non-black person, post the N-word on your Snapchat and think that wouldn't come back to you?
Exactly, or
Come
no
on
one
now.
was gonna say anything. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. Like, you really think you could play us like that
Right.
and we not do anything? not even take a screen recording or
Somebody's
None of
always
that.
watching.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
gonna get out somehow.
You know, even
Exactly.
schools monitor some people's Instagrams,
I know,
Exactly.
I
which
heard
I
of
thought was
that.
like, dang.
Did y'all hear about how there was a cheerleader? She didn't make a team or something like that, and she like posted her middle finger or something with
That's
her
it?
uniform on, and they
Um,
brought it all the way to the Supreme Court because they
Very
suspended her something off the team because she on the form that she signed it said you're not allowed to do specific things that are inappropriate with your uniform on, or if you're on the team, and she didn't.
That's different. She signed not a binding contract, but she signed a form saying she wasn't allowed to do that in her uniform.
Right.
Maybe she didn't realize it at the time. But you should read those things.
Right.
Like, that's kind of your fault. You shouldn't
Right,
have done that.
that is.
It's explicitly stated in the rules.
Right. That's true. But the
Um,
Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's kind of
Like,
That's
y'all
really
boy-
extensive.
y'all got
Yeah,
all
how did it
these
get that
people-
far? Because it has to go through various
Right,
courts
all
to get
these
that point.
people on death row.
Right.
And y'all
the
decided to bring this cheerleader.
About a middle finger, dog.
Here.
Right. That could have been handled at home.
Right. Give her a whooping color today. I don't know. I felt like that was just too much. Like, why would you go that far?
Why would you even go to court?
Right.
That makes
But the
no sense.
school, I think she and her parents brought it to court because she wanted to be on the cheer team and she thought it was unfair.
That could have
But you
been
bring
brought
it-
to the board.
But
With
yeah, the
board
school
of
board.
education.
I feel like
Yeah.
even going to your even going to your local court is a little much.
I know, and I
For a
think
uniform?
she might have
cheer.
went there, but I feel like they just said no. Like, you didn't follow the rules, so no.
Right.
And then
That's a
you
very
know,
simple
She got
fix.
mad.
That
Her
could have just been
parents got
handled in the
mad.
principal's office,
Right.
dog.
Like,
Right.
she didn't follow the rules, so she must face the consequences.
Yeah, she was on the news. Like, they had it on the news, and they were interviewing her.
I saw a CNN article about it. I was like, why do y'all care?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Oh, did y'all see the other thing where the schools, they were editing their clothes?
Yes, that was so.
Yes.
No, because
Yeah.
let's talk about that because that really made me mad. First
Me
of all, those
too.
girls that y'all said were being promiscuous in those pictures, they were literally sitting there with their
Clothes.
collarbone showing.
Right.
Like, and then the editing jobs were
Was
so bad. So
it's
bad.
like they took the thing on Snapchat that makes the stickers and they
Yeah.
just slid it up and
and
made
it
another
was all
shirt
because some of them were showing their shoulders.
or their collarbone.
Dress code, some dress code rules are the most bogus things I've ever heard.
I know. I feel like they go too far.
They not only go too far, but it's a blatant setup against women in school.
Right.
Like,
Because I see some dudes with some really tight jeans on.
I see some
let's-
dudes sagging so far. I can tell you what color underwear they wear.
Yeah, they bend over, you see their whole butt crack.
And
But
but
let's talk about
I'm
that.
getting dress code because I'm wearing a tank top. Come on now.
I think it's about like the people they employ, like the men, like the boys. Like Jared, do you really like in school? Do you really like pay attention to that?
Like if a girl was wearing a tank top and a sweater,
Would you be
looking at her
like-
like
that
that?
make
Nah,
you,
like-
would that distract you?
No. If you wear, I'll wear what I want to wear. If you want to wear what you want to wear, so be it.
I feel
Right.
like
don't care.
some things can be dress coded, but like a lot of the
Right.
rules are very
I
tedious
think
for no reason.
Right.
they're in there to like protect the teachers, cause you know like some of the male
Why are
teachers,
you
not all of them.
hiring a
Why?
pedophile?
Right.
Exactly. And why are you not digging deeper in that?
It's
feel like
called
they don't do-
background checks.
Yeah,
Do
you need to do
them.
background, even if they aren't on the background checks. I feel like if that happens and it's an incident between a teacher and a student, and he's distracted because the girl is wearing a sweater and a tank top, he needs to be fired. 'Cause
Exactly.
why are you looking at her like that?
Exactly. That's so
It's a
true.
child.
Like, dude, you're 36. She's 15.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get why they take it so seriously on the girls. And I feel like that's one of the issues because then you don't make them take accountability for what they're doing because it's wrong. And you're making it seem like we're wrong for wearing what we want to wear. But really, they're wrong for not controlling themselves. You know, like,
Yeah,
that's the problem.
right. And not even control yourself. Why are you attracted to a 15-year-old girl anyway?
Right.
Come on now.
But speaking of like not necessarily dress code, but what do y'all think about the whole Monique thing with the bonnets?
The buying.
That
Leave them alone. I am wearing this.
right.
I feel like if they want to wear something, let them wear it. If they're protecting their hair, let them protect
It's-
their
I
hair.
feel
Why
like-
does that bother you?
Maybe it's not the equivalent, but I feel like when you look at a person with straight hair, a naturally straight hair, and they put
Mhm.
their hair in a messy bun, y'all don't blink. Y'all don't blink
Right.
at all. But as soon as someone who cannot put their hair in a messy bun and it won't and have it look right, wears a
Right.
bonnet to protect their image,
Right.
it's like it's a problem for what? What
Mhm.
rules is wearing a bonnet breaking?
Exactly.
Especially because this whole argument started over girls wearing bonnets to an airport. You don't know what they was there for. They could have been on a 12-hour flight and they wanted to be
Right.
comfortable. It shouldn't matter
To
to
a
you.
wedding, they could have been trying to keep their hair intact,
Right.
and you're judging them, taking pictures of them while they're minding their business.
Talking about so we got to keep our image. What image is there to protect if you're only wearing a
Right.
bonnet?
Exactly. And they already don't like us anyway. So
Right. Why are you feeding into that whole we need to have their approval for that?
right,
It's
we don't
like-
need to do nothing. We need to
Right.
protect our hairstyle and
Right.
go to our destination. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to wear a bonnet, if you want to wear a do rag wherever you go, that's perfectly fine.
Right.
Perfectly fine.
I
But-
feel like there's like you're not gonna wear it to a wedding.
Look,
Hopefully,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's not appropriate.
If you
like,
trying to be comfortable, go ahead.
Right. we're
Especially
not
if you
doing
like
that.
going to Walmart or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
what's
Yeah.
the who cares?
I've seen people show up to Walmart in pajama pants, like
Me
full on
too.
pajama
Pajamas.
sets.
Right.
But y'all care about a
shoes.
bonnet?
Bonnets.
Yeah, it's
It
ridiculous.
doesn't make sense.
I feel like it's different in certain situations. Like, I can understand, like, okay, you're coming to school, take off your bonnet, take off your do-rag. I can
Yeah, you're at
understand
Yeah,
it.
school.
yeah, you're
And like you're
school.
going to like a professional situation, like you're going to like a job interview or something.
Yeah,
I can
that's
I can
different.
definitely understand it in that situation. But say like I'm just walking down the street, I'm going to grab some McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
I should be able to have on my do
Yeah,
rag.
why are you dressing up for who's gonna deliver
Right.
your food to you? Like
Right.
you just want to eat.
Right.
You're not dressing up to catch.
Not dressing to
Like,
impress at all.
Right.
okay, y'all heard about the Asian bill that's passing?
Asian.
Oh, that was
That bill?
not. I'm
Like
I'm
Asian
glad it. I'm
protection?
glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad it
But my
happened for
thing is,
them.
why didn't ours pass yet?
Right, the
Yeah.
George Floyd bill?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why didn't
oh,
that-
yeah.
I,
Oh,
I
no,
was
it's talking
very
about-
very happy when it passed for them, but I was just like,
Yeah, it's good, and I'm happy for
Guys,
them because they were going through a lot.
why
and that
does
wasn't
why do
right.
there even need to be separate bills for these things? It should just be
Right.
a human
One,
rights bill. I
treat
have
everybody
the
equal?
right, I have the right to not get hate crimed as I walk down the street or
Right.
killed as I walk down the street
get
simply
stomped
because
on.
I make you uncomfortable for no absolute reason.
Right.
Like,
But that's why is that not a crime? Like that should just automatically be a crime. Why do you need a bill to say that that's wrong?
it's like how in a lot of professional settings, not just professional settings, but in like Congress and things like that, they won't refer to white supremacy as a terrorist. It's terrorism. I'm like, it is domestic terrorism. It is just as bad as homegrown cells sitting anywhere in a
Right.
big city.
Mhm.
It is a danger to American people just because they are not white or not
Exactly.
black. There's
Doesn't
still a
mean-
danger to them.
Right.
I shouldn't have to worry about going outside and getting killed for nothing.
Right.
Like,
It was so sad and it was scary when a lot of the Asian, I think a guy, he drove to a whole bunch of different,
Like
Asian
nail
owned
shops.
nail
and-
shops.
Yeah.
was-
and he killed them. And that
Which is
is
racist in
so sad. Like,
And then the like the captain or police officer said he was just having a bad day.
that
It's
was
a bad
so
day.
insulting. The difference in the way the police treat non people of color criminals compared to people of color criminals is just absolutely disgusting.
Did y'all see the one where I think he shot up a church or something and they brought him to get a
Charleston?
burger?
Yes, there's like, do you want some water? You want a burger?
You want a
No.
burger?
Yeah,
You
but
want a
if
meal?
we
Jail
Are you
we get
hungry
pulled over,
from
we
the
get slammed to the
activities?
ground.
Right.
When we get pulled over,
For-
like
for a counterfeit dollar bill. A man gets a knee on his neck.
Right.
But this dude gets a burger after
He's
he shoots up
begging
a
for
church.
his dead
a
mother,
church.
and you continue, and you're
Yes.
asking this dude for a cheeseburger.
Dang, I was
And-
gonna say something. I forgot.
And then you can bring up the whole Charleston thing with Trump.
Yeah.
Like when that whole ordeal went down and the entire like the riots that ensued right after that, and then he was saying there was two perfectly good groups on both sides of that frontier. There were neo-Nazis and active
Did you,
Klan members.
Did y'all watch the I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it was that's basically what I was just trying to say. The neo-Nazis and Klansmen all
Okay.
showing up saying, basically just preaching white supremacy, white privilege, all of these things in a matter of hate and just standing for whites being in power and
Yeah.
staying in power and just
Did y'all watch the presidential debates?
Yes.
the
did
most
y'all-
recent ones.
Yeah, in November or before November.
I looked at clips.
Yeah, I didn't
Did y'all,
like
I
look at
watched.
it in
I didn't
depth.
actively watch them, but I watched the highlights. Not
Yeah.
the highlights, but you know what I
like
mean.
the clips. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But y'all know, they asked. I think it was. I don't remember if it was the moderator or if it was just Joe Biden. But he was like, "Can you tell the Proud Boys and all those white supremacist groups to stand down?" And then Trump he responded like, "Stand by and stand down and stand by." What do you mean stand by? What
Stand by
exactly?
what?
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't want them to like be mad at him
Because
because
those are his
Yes.
supporters.
Right.
exactly
Those are all of
those
his
are the people
supporters.
that he's gonna get votes from. He doesn't want them to be mad at him. He
Imagine.
wants to still be friends, but he wants to please other people as well. So he's like trying to be nice about it.
I don't even think it's about pleasing the other people. I just think he wanted to be politically correct while keeping his
Right.
votes, which is just disgusting. Like, as a president, it is your job to keep the citizens of America safe. And you over
Right.
here telling the Proud Boys to stand by.
by.
Who was keeping that safe? Right.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous.
And then I saw, I was watching a documentary, not a documentary, but it was like a docu-series. It's called Shades of America. And in the first episode, it was a comedian. He was going around dealing with issues in America. And he went to, I can't remember what state it was, but he went somewhere, and he went to KKK meetings. And it was just very...
Oh,
they kept trying to save their image, and they was just like, we're not hate. We're not a hate
nice
group.
Groups.
to him.
We're not a
just
hate
showcasing
group.
our
white
Southern pride.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what Southern pride is in there? Is in burning crosses and then going
Right.
to hate crime minorities. Like, and
I
then
watched
he
that.
proceeded to call all other races mud races, and I was just like, let me turn this off before I get really mad.
I don't know. That is crazy that they're so bold to be like that. Like, what did they do?
Like, they tried to keep their innocence. Like, we're not filled with hate anymore. We're just uplifting our rights. We're just uplifting our whiteness as a great community. I'm like, bro, if
The
you don't-
accent.
Well, you better go
Your
garden.
organization was built on trying to scare people of minorities away, dressing up as ghosts and
Yeah.
scaring them away
And
right
then
after
they haven't
slavery.
changed their costumes. 'Cause I'm
suits.
not gonna call them anything else. Their costumes, silly kid costumes, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a symbol of our history and pride." And I'm like, "What history and
does a
pride is
white
there?
It's
hood-
the accent.
What history and pride is there in lynching other people? Like, this is very."
I don't understand. Let us do it, and it's a problem. Did y'all hear about Lake Lanier?
Oh,
It's a slave town.
In
In
fact,
It's
the
haunted.
fact that me and my family have visited Lake Lanier
What?
before,
I'll never go to
we
Lake
didn't
Lanier.
know, but it was like, dang.
God bless
Learning
It's
that.
haunted.
For
Isn't it
real.
like
They
built
said
on
that
a town?
people-
It's built on a
It's slave
cemetery
tourism.
anyway.
It's built on a town. They had people. Okay, so it started where it was a
That's so
black
creepy.
community, and they wanted a white girl. She got assaulted, and they blamed two black boys
Just like
that
Tulsa.
lived in the town. They got executed that same day,
Just like Tulsa.
and they took like a few years to run everyone out the town until there was no one else left. And then they made a lake over it. So they say sometimes when the water goes low, you can literally see bleachers.
That's disgusting.
Like where
thought-
they used to have their...
Yeah, because the whole
I
thing
thought the
is
story was that the girl did get assaulted
Yeah,
allegedly,
she did. But
and then they flooded it.
no,
thought
they
they-
ran them out.
I thought
They
they-
ran them
I
out.
know I heard it was built on a
Within a
cemetery. And
few
there's a lot you
years.
can like I was like somebody was like it's built on a cemetery.
Yeah.
So everything you're swimming over is dead bodies. And I'm like, how is that even within the health codes of the state?
It
That's
probably
disgusting.
is because you know it was a whole town.
And then people have drowned in that lake and their body
I
has
always
not
got
been found.
I always got
Uncovered.
bad vibes from that place. I was like,
Did you go fishing when you went there?
no, we went on vacation. It was like a
Vacation. To
Mm.
Lake
Vacation.
Lanier.
I actually went swimming in there. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm so finding it out.
Glad
I
you're
was
here. I'm glad you're here.
Right.
Glad you made it back.
So many
No, we
people
didn't
go
have any
missing.
problems because I don't even remember it much. I was pretty young, so
Mhm.
it was before my brother was even born, and he's 9. So
Wow.
Surprised Jason ain't come up out the water and snatch it down.
Right.
no, but you know what's funny? Even because I already told you I can't swim, right? So I was in the
Right.
water, and every time my foot would touch the ground, I get so scared. I'd be like, "What was that?"
Mm.
What if I was?
It's
I was
time
just
to
getting
go.
the bad
Girl,
vibes.
something was grabbing him. They was like, oh, She's
It
all
was playing
right.
footsies with you.
Oh wow! And I'm glad because there was like this big bouncy house that you could jump off of into the lake in the middle of the lake, and my dad was like, "No, we're not going over there." I'm glad he said that.
Right. Because so many people go missing there and they never find their bodies.
Now, are they going missing because they're drowning, or are they going missing because it's?
People that
People over there.
survive say they feel like people are grabbing them.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's just the whole ambiance of the name Lake Lanier. It's giving Riverdale serial killer.
Right, right. And they also did it in New York. I think to build I forgot what it was called, but it's like a monument in New York. They kicked out a black community so they would be able to build it.
It's literally gentrification, and
Yeah.
it's a watered down version that's happening today. And then
Exactly.
people will say it's a necessary evil, but it's like no, it's just evil. It's
Right.
just evil.
It's like whenever they're doing good, it's a problem.
right.
And whenever they're doing bad, it's a problem. So, like, when is it okay?
And it's especially hard because I saw this TikTok video the other day, and it was this black dude. He was defending gentrification. I was like, bro, you know what happens when these people move into these communities? They raise the
Right.
prices of the houses, and the people can't afford rent, and then they have to move out and then
Right.
move into worse neighborhoods, and it's just a repeating cycle. It's not good for anybody but the white people.
Exactly. That is so messed up.
It's all about money. That's all it is
Yeah.
At this point.
There's actually this guy, one of my mom's, I don't know if it's her friend, but she showed me the other day, and he bought a apartment complex in California
Like
for
an entire apartment complex.
yeah.
Oh, you
And
got
like,
money.
I was about to say,
Yeah, his
I didn't hear the
family,
complex part.
and he said he like built a group, and his group of friends are buying out the complexes in California because he actually got kicked out of his apartment complex when he was little, and his mom couldn't afford it. And he said he literally grew up there his whole life, and when he got to like his teenage years, he had to move, and it was really hard for him. All his friends and everything, like where everything, it's hard to move like that. And so he went back
It's
and
hard
he
to move in
bought one of
general.
the apartments that was in his area, and he was like he's planning to buy them all out so that he can keep the price the same, so that they won't have unexpected price changes, and they won't have to be scared about having to find a different living condition or whatever. And I thought that was so nice.
Okay, Mr. Monopoly.
Right?
Okay, this is off topic, but do y'all think like teachers and like people in government should get psychiatric tests before they get the
Yes.
job?
Yes.
especially teachers, because like I mean, I'm not even a parent, but as a parent, you would have to give up your child for 6-7 hours a day to spend their time with these people,
Right.
and they're in their hands. I wouldn't trust that. I need
Also,
background
like
checks and everything.
CPS workers, and because in 911 callers, I feel like the operators, they need to
For
be
real.
Oh, yeah,
like-
because they hear so much stuff. Like they need
Yeah.
counseling or something,
Right.
therapy.
They
and
need
also
a bunch of
sometimes they
strength.
don't react how they're supposed to, or they'll tell
Right.
them to calm down, or they'll tell them it's not that big of a deal.
Because at that point, your life is in their hands.
Right. And then
That's
the
scary.
CPS workers, they'll like give a kid back to their parents who like
And I've shown
Abuse
in
them.
the past that they've just
yeah.
used, neglect.
Yeah.
It's a very messed up system in general.
I know, and it's like, why are they so quick? Like, do they get money for the more
Yeah,
kids they deal
it's
with or
like
something?
Foster
Like,
homes,
Foster
do.
homes, they get, I can't remember, it was like,
They get a certain amount a month per child.
yeah.
but
so, like, the
why are
more
they
you
taking
have-
them out like so quickly to give them back to the parents? Like, you're not getting money from that.
I don't know.
I don't know if they are, but I'm just saying, like, why are they so quick to leave them back with the parents that hurt them, or they know is not in the right mental state? Like, why aren't you doing your job?
I think it's different in some situations because some of those unfit parents will be on drugs,
Right.
and then they'll apply to get their children back, and then they'll pass the check, but then they turn around and get back on drugs. So it's
Right.
like, because they do they do tests on these people. They do test on these. They do background checks on them, but as soon as those background checks are over, these people do a complete 180.
right.
So it's like you never really know. You just have to talk to the children, and sometimes children will be like, "I don't want to be a burden. I'll stay here and I'll deal with it." I'm like, nah.
Right, because there's this story. I watch a lot of like the criminal stories on
Yeah.
YouTube. I'll be having to stop around 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 'cause
because
I
when
mean,
it's
like,
time to get
scared
dark,
around
I'd be like, I may
bedtime.
love these videos, but I'm not built
Right,
for all
I'm
that.
not built for it like that. And basically, there was also a documentary that was on Netflix, and it's called "I'm a Killer," and they
Oh, I've been meaning to
basically
watch that.
interview murderers, and they tell you their story. And sometimes when you hear what they went through, you're like, of course you did something, you know?
Yeah.
And with one of them, he said his parents were so abusive. Like his dad like lit bed springs on fire and put him on there.
Oh my gosh.
And his whole back was like lit. He said that his dad would sell him for like alcohol and stuff like that. And he said that
I'm sorry. Who
CPS
takes a child and who?
Yeah.
How do you sell a child as
For
a
some beer?
Yeah.
No, not even the beer part. I'm like, who just takes a child?
Yeah, and then the brother was like, I don't know if that happened. That happened to our other brother though. How are you gonna say that
What?
didn't happen
That's-
when it happened to your other brother?
That's
He was, and so he basically had CPS watching him, and he said that he would get starved, and his older sister would give him applesauce because she thought he was gonna die. Like she would sneak him food. And
So
so yeah, they were like, it got to a point where the CPS worker, they came and saw him in his burns on his back, and they were like, oh yeah, you have to go. And so like a couple, they ended up moving, and I guess got themselves together, and they just gave him right back. But it's like, if you knew they burnt him like that, why would you
Right.
give him back? You know, like that was enough. There's no changing from that. He did that to his kids, so why do you feel comfortable to give
Right.
him back to his
Right.
parents? That's what I don't understand. Like,
a
why are
lot
you doing
of
that?
a lot of like dang, we got so off topic, but it is what it is. A lot of murderers and serial killers, they have a lot of trauma. Like I watch, as weird as it sounds, I watch the interviews that serial killers do
Mm-hmm.
after they've gone to jail. Like I watched the what's her name, Aline Wuornos, and then I watched the Jeffrey Dahmer one. And it's like,
Her
God
story
dang,
is
her
so
story is so
sad.
sad. But I'm like, at the same time, and it doesn't excuse what you did either.
It doesn't, but it's like how, like the way that their head is set up after that stuff, it's like they're so immune to
Right.
things like that. It doesn't bother them
Yeah.
to do it, you know, like it, because of how they're raised. I feel like it's all in your head, because when you're little, that's like your training. That's like your the time that you need to be loved, and nursed and stuff like that. And it's like, if you're going through that type of stuff, it's not in your head, you know, like you're not getting that stabilization that you should be getting. And it's like, you're messed up. There's no coming back.
You know what's even sadder? Y'all know the Jeffrey Dahmer story. He's a cannibalist. Y'all know the little boy who almost got saved and then he killed him.
Yeah.
That was so sad.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
gosh, I
was
just wanted
sad.
to throw something against the wall. I was like, he was this close to being saved, and then y'all left and he turned around and ate that boy.
Exactly.
Wow, that was so sad. I was like, he could have grown up. I mean, he would have had trauma, but he still would have had his life. And then it was just sloppy police work. Just sloppy
Right.
police work.
They don't do their job. Well, I
Yeah.
think we're going to have to like.
Y'all want to
hurry up,
end it on a high note?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
nothing so graphic.
Yeah.
Well,
Cancel
that was
culture.
our segment.
No, something on a high note. Like
Okay,
something
what did
funny.
y'all do over the summer though? So far.
Oh,
I've been practicing and then doing. I've
Like
been in a lot
conditioning.
of. Yeah, I've been practicing and I have a lot of like summer work and a bunch of programs I'm a part of. So I've just been
Mhm.
busy.
Did you go to any? Have you taken any trips or anything?
I
Not
know.
really.
I just got back from Florida. I went to Disney and SeaWorld. SeaWorld is so ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh my
SeaWorld-
gosh.
SeaWorld, no, they need to be shut down at this
They
point.
do. They do.
The
because
treatment
I've
of
been
the
seeing a lot of
animals,
stuff about that.
It's been happening since like the 90s. The treatment of the animals, it just needs to be shut
Yeah,
down.
I don't like that.
Horrible there.
Because I actually went to Savannah and we went to a like a boat ride when we saw dolphins, and seeing them in their actual, you know, like environment is so much better than seeing them do tricks when people are on them and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's more exciting too because you actually see them versus they're being trained to do something.
Yeah, but I volunteered at the zoo. It's like a volunteer program for teenagers, right?
Really?
Yeah. Y'all should sign up. It's really
Oh
fun.
my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna give you mine now.
The animals they do, they do have tricks that they do, but it's completely voluntary. Like if the animal isn't feeling it, then they
Right.
won't. They'll be like, oh, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
And like they do giraffe feeding at the zoo, but if the animal doesn't want to be fed by the guest that day, then they won't.
Right.
It's completely voluntary for the animals, and I feel like that should be a thing at all zoos. And all sea life.
Right.
You shouldn't make them do it. It should be their choice. If they don't feel it that day, then the guest will just have to wait another day.
Exactly.
Because it's not for you. It's the animals are here for their own well-being.
They shouldn't even be in captivity in the first place.
Exactly.
But
I can speak on that. I work at the zoo. I'm trying to get.
well, what have you done over the break?
I've been conditioning.
Mhm.
Been a lot of conditioning, and then just hanging with family, going to the movies.
Are you ready? Are you guys? Oh, what have you done over the break?
No, I said I went to
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right, right. I'm
you
sorry, I'm
right.
sorry, I'm sorry.
What have you done?
Nothing really. I went to Chicago and Savannah, but I haven't really done much. I've also did volunteer at Emory,
Oh, nice.
but not that much.
What kind? Medical?
But even though I'm not going, I just want it on my resume.
Just have it on your
Um,
application?
Yeah, my application. Yeah, I really don't want to come back to school, but we have one more month. Are
It's
I
gonna
only
go by
started on my summer
fast.
work. We need to get
the
on
Right.
summer?
We need to
literally-
get on that.
I thought the summer was going to be good, but I
It
really
went
was
by
just working the
fast.
entire time.
Right. Well, that was the podcast.
Yay.